neither do I. But yeah.
Are you going to be like walking around too? Like, what's your plan there? And are you going for like the whole weekend or what?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask her, but I'm probably gonna be helping her, just like stay in the booth with her.
Nice.
But yeah.
Cool. Alrighty.
Hi, girls.
Becky.
Hi.
Hi, Becky.
Hi. I'm gonna be stepping out, like have to get my husband's lunch ready because he's gonna go into work shortly. But I came in so I could start recording.
Oh
So
yeah, that's fine.
I'll be coming, checking in back and forth. I'll probably have my earbuds so I could hear.
Nice.
But how's your guys' day going so far?
Good. Busy, but good.
Good. Yeah.
Assignments.
Mhm. The honestly, like this week hasn't been too bad assignment wise. It's kind of nice, you know, no critical thinking questions.
I
Yeah.
felt like last week too was super easy. I mean, like it was easier for me to understand than module 2.
Yeah, the content was easy. I just thought there was a lot of work last week.
Yeah. I know. I feel like I've been feeling overwhelmed because I've just been doing so much. Yeah, go wake up there. It's just like my kids have practice, I have to take one another, and then my husband picks them up. I drop off here and there, and I'm like, I have to make time to sit down and try to reread the things so I could understand it. But we'll get through it.
Yeah, for sure.
Hi, Maggie. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi guys, it's Hannah, but
I
mean, that's just my legal name. I had never changed it on Zoom. I go by Maggie. I just didn't tell Dina that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I did
Very
not know that.
I thought more people were gonna log in. A lot of people were talking into that they were gonna be coming in for the study group.
We'll see.
That I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention to the group chat.
How many people came last Thursday?
Like
3 of us?
4. I thought it was 4.
There was 3 of us the next night.
I think it was 4 of us. I don't know. I don't remember.
Well, we'll give it a few more minutes and then we could kind of start.
Has anyone done the Lisp activity yet?
I did it.
How was
Yeah.
it?
It was actually pretty easy. It was doing the lists was kind of frustrating, but I mean, you just say that as one of your responses, basically. But I thought it was pretty easy. It took me maybe like a minute.
Okay, cool.
And I started the observation too, and that's actually a lot easier this week.
Yeah, I mean, it was long, but I felt like there were a lot of examples to use, so that helped a lot.
Yeah, you definitely don't have to like go back and rewatch it 3 times because you have so much stuff that you could use throughout the video.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, Kathy.
Hi, Kathy. Welcome. So glad you could make it this week.
Yeah, let's see if I survive. Is anybody talking?
No.
Oh,
No, we're gonna give it like one more minute. So if anyone
Okay, I'm
wants to join us-
sorry.
No,
Oh,
you're
no.
good.
Sorry, I didn't, I thought maybe maybe it was
No,
like,
no.
because the other night at open classroom, there were sound issues, I remember.
Hmm.
So how did everybody do on the quiz, or did I already miss that question?
Oh, we didn't talk about that.
Oh,
I thought the quiz wasn't too bad, except for there were so many short answer questions, but
I think I got like a 40 out of 44 on it.
yeah, I got kind of similar. I think 42 out of 44. So yeah, not bad.
Yeah, as long
I
as
got
you
an
go over
A.
those read and reviews.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I did pretty good. I got an A. I was happy. I'm like, I'll take it.
Yay.
Not 100%, but it was an A.
Yeah, same.
well, I got a 44, but I had an unfair advantage.
What was your advantage?
Having worked in the hearing aid industry for over 10 years.
Ah,
Yeah, that's great for you.
nice.
I mean, you didn't have to study much.
No.
Okay, so it's 8:05. Let's get started. Before we start, does anyone have any just general questions that during this module that we just didn't understand or you need more clarification on?
I'm really angry about the articulation chart that we had to identify, and I even told her that I gave her two versions of it because I thought it was very ambiguous. Because if you look at the one that we had to identify, what it looks like there's two places for the soft palate for the velum, and one of them I actually on one version of identifying it, that's how I guess anally retentive, if you want to say I am. I said it was the uvula because it's at
Yeah,
the very
that's what
end
I
of the
said
tip.
too.
I put uvula as well.
Yeah, I put uvula as well.
Oh, good.
And I,
So I'm not the only one. And I
yeah,
put in my comments to her that, but based on the chart that she showed during the classroom session, it was marked as velum, and that they also made comments that she also made comments that everything you need to know to put on that diagram is here in this discussion. And they kept talking about the jaw, but I didn't see anywhere on that one that we had to mark on where the jaw was clearly delineated with an arrow. So I didn't mark jaw at all. I gave her an alternate version. I wrote my first choice and I wrote or, but I marked it as uvula and velum and hard palate. And on my first version of it, I didn't mark it as having the jaw involved at all. You know, the alveolar ridge, the teeth and the lips and the tongue and the vocal folds. I think that's it. I can't remember what else was on there. So, but I'm glad to know I'm not the only one who put uvula, because I thought that was very ambiguous.
Yeah, I just looked up a figure that was kind of similar to what was in that example, and it said uvula. So I was just figuring that was what it was. I mean,
Good.
yeah.
Good. Well, if there's enough of us, then, because it just, like I said, if I don't know if you guys remember, because I actually went back today and looked at the recording of the classroom, looked at the recording of Tuesday's session and looked at that chart. And on that chart that she showed, it had the thing pointing at the arrow pointing at the very tip of the velum, which is the uvula, and it said velum. And I was like, man, I just don't want to be tripped up on this, So anyway, I'm a PIA that way, but I get to be because I'm a farty old lady. So anyway, enough of me.
well, hopefully that is the correct answer. I'm assuming it is because to me, that's what it looked like. But if she says it's something else, then, I guess we'll learn from it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, any other questions or concerns before we dive into the read and review questions?
Real
Alright.
question, sorry, real quick, for the assignment that you guys were talking about, so do we have to name it and then do we have to write the function of each thing as well, or just
Yeah.
name the
Yes.
whole thing? Name it and name its function, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I was like, I'm not sure if I'm doing it right.
You could find like literally all of them in the textbooks, maybe not the uvula. You might have to do like your separate research on that.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I did. I just looked up on like, I can't remember where, but I did that, referenced it, and then it was done. So yeah.
Okay, so we'll just, wherever I find it, just reference it that I find it in that website, that way she knows where I found it.
Yeah, as long as it's about the articulatory purposes for the
Purposes.
uvula. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. So going off the read and review that is on module 4, there are the questions down there that will be on the quiz. And from previous quizzes, I think this is accurate because most of the questions that we discussed in previous study groups that were on the read and review were on the quiz. So I feel like we can trust this, that this will be on the quiz. So the first question is, what is the articulatory, oh gosh, English, I know, I swear I know it. Articulatory system. Does anyone want to answer?
Sure. Let's see. The articulatory system is the structures and mechanisms that we use to produce speech.
Yep, thank you, Hannah. So it's, I think this is like forward. It is structures and mechanism that we use to produce speech. I mean, I don't know how else to reword it to make more sense. If anyone does, go ahead and jump right on in. And again, I feel like these questions, you could find it in the PowerPoint, and if not the PowerPoint, then the book. So then moving on to the next one, what are the articulars needed for speech? Does anyone want to answer this one?
I can.
Okay.
You just want like what they are, not necessarily their functions, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, great. So it's the lips, the teeth, the tongue, the alveolar ridge, the hard palate, the soft palate or velum, and the jaw. I don't know if I mean, I guess we can discuss uvula too, since everyone's saying uvula, but yeah.
Also, I want to add the vocal cords as
Yeah,
well.
the vocal cords, like the larynx and stuff like that. Yeah, for
So
sure.
if you guys have trouble remembering this, just go back to the assignment where it points out all 8 of them. That's the answer for the second question. Okay, second one. What is the International Phonetic Alphabet, also known as IPA? Not the beer, by the way. So for this one, it is the phonetic alphabet to transcribe speech. We will, and she said this too on Tuesday's class, we will dive into the phonetics portion of this chapter like later on in classes, or if you go for your master's, I believe you have to take like a phonetics class. So I feel like it's very important that we understand and know the definition.
And know that it's symbols and not letters. That's also really important to know.
Oh yeah, so the phonetic alphabet to transcribe speech, symbols, not letters.
Wait, what does that mean? Symbols, not letters? Because they are letters, right? They're just
No, so think of it as like hieroglyphs. They're not quite letters. They're just symbols of things that are supposed to represent certain things. In this case, how we pronounce sounds in a specific language, like in English.
Okay, so even though it like one of them is like technically an R, right?
Well, yeah, some of them do look like letters, but that doesn't
Mhm.
mean they actually are the letter. Because, for example, what looks like an R, you actually say R. So you call that phoneme R. You don't call it R.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that would be how you would pronounce it, like in a rabbit. I know that sounds kind of weird, but like that's basically how you understand it.
That makes sense. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Z or S. It could either like the phony could be either S or Z depending on how it is pronounced.
Yeah, or like Z or S. Yeah.
Okay, so the next one is standard American English. I'm assuming it means the International Phonetic Alphabet. So there are over 40 phonemes or sounds that we use to pronounce words. I think the correct number is either 42 or 46. I can't remember, but I remember reading it. So yeah, in the English alphabet, we have 26 letters. However, for phonemes, aka sounds, there are over 20 that we use to pronounce words. Or over 42. Yeah, over 42 pronounce words. So the second one is phonemes. I don't really have a specific definition for this, but all I did was put phonemes equals sounds. So as long as you know that, I feel like it'd be easy to better understand the IPA and the speech sound disorders. So phonemes equal sounds. If anyone has a definition of phonemes, more than welcome to jump on in, but I really don't have like a good definition that would make sense or that would be easy to remember.
Page
I also just put,
15 of the book. I'm looking it up for you guys right now
I also put
because I have I
sorry.
have the actual book.
Hannah, what was that?
I also just put the smallest single unit of sound in any language.
Smart. See, I did not think of that. So phonemes equal sound, which is also the smallest unit of sound
Yeah, in any language.
in any language.
Yeah, that's right. That's the definition. Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
no, the chart on page 15 says it's the phonemes of standard American English. So, but a phoneme is the smallest unit of sound in any language, but we're focusing on the phonemes of standard American English. Is what we're focusing
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
so is a
yeah,
phoneme the same as a syllable?
No.
Because I mean, I know it's not necessarily, but when you do like all the examples that she gave, like one was like dog or something like that, and the same number of phonemes is the same number of syllables. I'm just wondering if that was like how it lined up and for all the words.
Not necessarily. I get what you're saying, but like it's
Okay,
not. I'm
here.
trying to think of an example, but if anyone has an example of that, like
Well, I got it here for you. Every language has a relatively small number of sounds called phonemes. Standard American English uses about 40 phonemes, depending upon the dialect, as shown in figure. Standard American English relies on the combination of 15 vowels and 25 consonants to create some 100,000 words.
Oh, I know one. So basically an example of like syllable versus phoneme is that the word dog has one syllable, but each phoneme, there's technically 3 phonemes in the word.
Oh, duh. Okay.
Yeah.
That's obvious. That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
Kathy, were you going to say something else? Sorry.
no, you're right on the money, because that was the example that was given, and I can't
Oh.
remember if it was in the book, it was in the book or the PowerPoint presentation, but dog was the one that was given where there were 3 phonemes and one syllable. So you're right on the money.
I was just guessing for an example because I love dogs and animals, so.
Well, you got it, girl.
Okay, so phonemes equals sounds, and it's also the smallest unit of sound in any language. Standard American English, there are over 40 phonemes / sounds that we use to produce words. And then the last one is consonant cluster, which they are a group of consonants within a word without a vowel separating them. So it could be 2 grouped together, or 3, or even 4. I know at the in the beginning, like of a word, there's only 3, but at the end it could be up to 4.
Yeah, the example was given like the LK in milk.
Mm-hmm. And then also the CH, the ch sound, that's also constant clutter. Another one is the STR for like street. Yeah. And then I think the 4 that are together towards the end is 12ths, right?
Mhm.
12ths.
Yeah.
So consonant cluster, it's exactly how, like, the definition is exactly how you're thinking. It's just a bunch of consonants bunched up together. But yeah. So the next one, what is speech sound disorder, or SSD? Does anyone want to define this one?
I keep forgetting the definition. I remember that it's either something or organic. It's either God, just looking at this today.
Functional or organic?
That's, yeah.
Oh,
keep
that's more
forgetting.
for like the causes,
Mm-hmm.
like known and
Yeah.
unknown. Yeah.
Yeah. But I remember the diagram with the umbrella, but I was thinking that might be a key thing. That might be a question now.
Oh yeah,
that-
it definitely could be. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so for speech sound disorder, I put AKA speech delay. But I guess if we want to use a textbook definition, we could say it's an impairment of an individual sound system resulting in significant problem with speech sound production.
Mm-hmm. And specifically in comparison to someone who is of the same age and from the same cultural background.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat it one more time?
Which part? My part or
Yeah,
Olivia's
your part, the impairment.
Oh, mine. An impairment of an individual's sound system resulting in significant problem with speech sound production.
Thank you.
And since my brain is like a sieve with memorizing stuff, ever since I was in a car accident, where exactly did you find that that definition?
It's actually on the PowerPoint. I believe
Okay.
it's the
Yeah,
first PowerPoint.
I gotta keep going back and forth to that. Thanks.
It's on the PowerPoint and it's also on like the first page of chapter 9, the part that talks about speech, sound, and articulation, all that.
Yeah, because I'm trying to memorize the 4 articulation disorders too.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of the things on the Ream review. So
Yeah.
I mean, I
helps.
don't know any way to shorten this so that way we could memorize this, because I feel like this is too textbook of a pardon me, too much of a textbook definition, and it'd be kind of hard to memorize. But I mean, if anyone has like an easier way to define speech sound disorder,
So I can to just simply just put occurs when a child has difficulty producing individual speech sounds.
Oh, okay.
That's also, I'm pretty sure I saw that in the PowerPoint or the video. One of the two, probably the video.
Mm-hmm.
And Hannah, can you repeat that again?
I just put occurs when a child has difficulty producing individual speech sounds.
Okay.
Which would just be the phonemes, right?
Yes.
But then how would you differentiate that from like an articulation disorder? Because those definitions sound similar, if not the same. I mean, I know
you're right.
I know,
I'm looking
this-
at the wrong section. You're right.
No. I was just curious. I know speech sound disorder is the more broad term of like all the different ones, but I just want to make sure. Yeah.
Oh, then I don't know.
I was just curious. Because honestly, like it was a little bit confusing between the speech sound disorder definition and the articulation disorder definition. It was a little confusing. I'm not going to lie. But yeah.
I mean, below that, I put articulation disorders occur at the phonetic, how do you say it? Level. Phonetic. Thank you.
Mhm.
Phonetic level, meaning that errors occur during the motor production of speech sound. And I literally just put word for word what she said in the video. So I don't really know what that means.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because it's more focused on
Yeah.
the structures specifically. Okay.
Yeah, so articulation's more structure and the speech sound disorder is more, I guess, broad. Like
Yeah.
the speech sound disorder goes down to subdomains, which one of the subdomains is articulation impairment.
Mhm.
I am, at least that's what I'm getting.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. The phonological one's more of the one where it's like sound specific, it sounds
Mhm.
like, but that's what we're covering next week, looks like.
And it even on as Kathy said, underneath the umbrella, it goes sound system disorders and then it splits off to two under functional and organic, and underneath functional it splits off into two again, and one of them is articulation disorder. So I feel like the sound system
Okay.
disorder is more broad, and then the articulation disorder just goes more into depth and like it focuses on the articulation.
Okay.
Yeah, so sound systems, like the broad, like here is what it is, and then it just splits off to domains, and then those domains split off to subdomains. And
Mm-hmm.
if
Great.
that makes any sense to anyone, I'm hoping that it does.
Yeah, it makes sense. What's
It-
like, can we go over again what the difference is between functional and organic?
So functional is have no known cause, and development and organic is either developmental or it's acquired.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so functional, there's no known cause. It could be like a child having a lisp, or it could just,
Oh yeah.
yeah. And then organic would be like it's developmental, it was acquired. Like a cleft palate is one
Yeah.
that's organic.
Hearing
impairment,
loss.
yeah. What was the other one?
Dysarthria and
Dysarthria.
apraxia. Yeah.
So that one's developed, like they acquired it. With functional, it's just like it just shows up out of nowhere and there's no known cause for it.
I find it so weird that Lisp doesn't have a cause. It's like really weird.
Yeah, and so I feel like organic is more like, or I'm sorry, functional is more like it just appears out of nowhere.
Right.
Like it pops up and it's like, oh, like when did this happen?
That was my initial thought. Thank you. Okay.
So on to the next one, and this is a great segue to the next one, which is articulation impairment / disorder. Again, it's functional. There's no known cause for it. If you want the textbook definition, then I guess it's an ability to articulate certain speech sounds correctly. So not being able to articulate speech, or not speech sounds, phonemes correctly, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So not being able to produce the phonemes correctly. And again, it refers to the diagram that was on the second PowerPoint, where it's like at age 3, they should be able to say these sounds, and it's all the phonemes of the letters, like the p and the b sound. Like at age 2, they acquired that sound.
Yeah.
And then it isn't until like age 5 or 6 they don't acquire they start developing the th sound, or the silent, the voiceless the or the voice, so like this and thought.
Wait, so all articulation impairments are functional? Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
they're functional. There's no known cause for it. You know, like I said, with the other one, organic, it does have a cause. Like again, speech, hearing impairment, a cleft palate is another one. It develops, it's acquired over time, while this one, it just again pops up out of nowhere. It's like when you're talking to a child, oh, by the way, the meeting ends at in 8 minutes, so if it does end, just come back right back in. Anyways, the articulation impairment, it could be like the child is trying to say sun, but they say thun. So that's that would be our articulation impairment.
Sabrina, I get the impression you're gonna be my boss someday.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm not really much a leader. I'm more of a follower. Okay, so next one, the 4 types of articulation errors, not disorders, errors, because I made this mistake thinking that they were types of disorder, but it's not.
Yeah.
And I'm glad like I caught it on time before I continue thinking what it was. Would anyone like to list the 4 errors?
Oh,
I'll do.
gosh.
Isn't one is omission.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is substitution.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's oh my gosh, I was just putting it in my brain this morning. my head hurts from all this homework. Omission, substitution, addition,
Yes. One more.
and it's right there, the tip of my tongue.
I'm gonna give you a hint. I'm gonna give you a hint. It starts with a D.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Would anyone like to help her out?
Distortion.
Distortion. Yes.
Distortion.
Okay.
Like the lisp thing we have to do.
Mhm. And that's the most common in children, by the way, distortion. So I'm assuming we have to like define what the 4 types are. So I have an easy way to like, to me, it makes sense. So omission leaves out a sound or a phoneme. Substitution is when they change one sound into a different sound. Distortion, which is common in young children, is close to making the sound, but it is distorted. For example, a lisp. And then the last one, which is addition, is adding a sound that does not belong in the word.
Yep.
Hey, I just came up with an idea.
What's up?
Well, you know how like some people, they say use memory pegs, like make up a word to remember things. And I just thought of, in a different order, the word "oh sad," which would be omission, substitution, addition, and distortion. And that would be a good way to remember the 4 of them. I'm gonna keep that in my mind, the word oh sad. Like, oh, that's sad.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Maybe that sounds stupid to you guys, but I
No,
mean,
no,
it's
no, that's really
Mm.
good.
Yes.
Too.
oh yeah, oh, that's even better.
Submission,
it.
omission, and distortion, and
That's
then that'll be
even
another.
better. Yeah. So that would be substitution, omission, distortion, and addition.
In addition,
That's even better. So
Wait.
does yes. Right on.
We're teamwork.
Yeah.
Teamwork makes
Zoom
the
is
dream
gonna
work.
Zoom is gonna kick me off in 3.5 minutes because
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a Zoom account. So it lets me do 45-minute meetings at a time. So I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna have to log back in just to give you guys a heads up.
Oh, yeah, it kicks us all off in 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not just a you issue, it's everyone. I don't know why it does this. Zoom is dumb.
'Cause they want us to pay for an account.
Oh, well, that's not happening. I'm broke. Okay, so the 4 types of articulation errors: omission, leaves out a sound; substitution, changes one sound to a different sound; distortion, which is common in children. It's close to making a sound, but it's distorted. So it lisp would be example, and then addition is adding a sound that doesn't belong in the word. Next one, multicultural issues, dialect and linguistic diversity. I'm gonna be totally honest, I did not how do you say it, like really dug deep into this. Like I skimmed it and then I moved on. So the fact that this is on here, I'm just like, well, I'm screwed. Yeah, I don't know if you guys want to wait until Zoom kicks us out and then we could continue talking about it.
That's fine.
You want?
Okay, let's just do that because that would be very rude of Zoom to kick me out while I'm in the middle of talking. Okay.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and leave and then come back. How's that sound?
Yeah, I think it's better if we all leave instead of waiting it out and then coming back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I've got a minute and 30. Okay, see you in a few.
See you in a few.
Yep. Bye.